Welcome to A View to a Grill. I'm Johnny, and today I'm going to use a pellet grill for the very first time. I'm going to smoke a pork butt, and after the taste test, I'm going to show you a little bit of after grilling maintenance on the Z-Grill's 700 2CE. First, let's do a little pork butt prep. We're going to be working with a 7-pound pork butt today. I'm just going to start off by patting the pork butt dry, and then I'm going to take the fat cap off because I like my seasoning to adhere to the meat and not the fat cap. Once I was done trimming the fat cap off, my pork butt looked like this. And now let's go over the rub. My rub is going to consist of salt, pepper, paprika, onion, garlic, and mustard powder. I'll have all of the exact measurements in the description below. I'll just combine all of those together in a bowl, and I'll just use my fork to mix it up. When you're done, you should have something that looks like this. Now I'll generously season the pork butt on all sides. Once we're done seasoning, I'll put this pork butt in the refrigerator where it'll set up overnight. The next morning, the first thing I'm going to do is take the pork butt out of the refrigerator and set it on the counter. Once I've done that, now it's time to set up the Z-Grill pellet grill. I'll get the Z-Grill pellet grill plugged in, and next I'm going to fill up the hopper with pellets. I'll then go ahead and open the door and turn the power to the Z-Grill on. Next, I'll set the dial to the smoke position and wait until I see smoke coming out of the open door. I'll then close the door and set the temperature to my desired temperature. That desired temperature is 275 degrees. Now the Z-Grills did overshoot itself, and it did get up to 305 degrees. And here in a few minutes, you'll see that that's self-corrected. Once it's clear, I'll go ahead and put in my drip pan, and now it's time to get the pork butt on the Z-Grill pellet grill. All of that setup only took 10 to 15 minutes. It's now 8 in the morning, and I'm going to let the Z-Grill pellet grill do all the work. I'm going to put my pork butt right in the center of the grill over my drip pan. At 8:20, the Z-Grills is now at its target 275 degrees. And now it's time to let the Z-Grills do all the work. I'm going to load up the truck and I'm going to go golfing. And look at this swing. I am still trying to get my head to stay still. If you have any good tips, leave it in the comments below. Now I'm back home. I've been gone for 5.5 hours. We need to take a look at the pork butt. Temperature is still holding at 275 degrees. And take a look at that. This pork butt is really looking good. It's got a great color and the bark has set. At this point, I'm going to start monitoring the internal temperature of the pork butt. So I'm going to need to get the temperature probe, thread it through the grommet, and insert it into the pork butt. Now I'll just get the internal thermometer plugged in to the Z-Grills, and you can see here that we're at 174 degrees of internal temperature. Now I accidentally pulled the grommet out, so I'm going to have to fix that. And at this point, I'm also going to spritz the pork butt. You can see here that our drip pan is doing what it's supposed to do, and this is going to make cleanup a lot easier. Now the internal temperature to the pork butt is 199 degrees, and now it's time to check for doneness. Now we'll get the lid open, and using the same internal temperature probe that I used earlier, I'm just going to probe until I find the tightest spot in the pork butt. Once I find that spot, I'll leave the temperature probe there and just kind of use this area as my guide to help me determine how much longer we have to go on the pork butt. Now we'll get that closed, and then at 3:48 we're going to check on the pork butt again. Now I am using my Thermopin 1 to check for tenderness, and if you want to know where I pulled my pork butt, well, it was at 203 degrees, but truly I was just probing for tenderness, making sure that there were no tight spots in the pork butt. The pork butt is tender, and now I'm just going to go ahead and close the lid and get all the things I need in order to take the pork butt off. So that took a few minutes. It's now 3:53, and now I'm going to take the pork butt off so it can rest. I'm not going to need that temperature probe anymore, so I'll just take it out of the pork butt. And here's something that's handy. I'm going to use the pellet hopper lid as a little side table and set my pork butt on that. And now I'll just put the Z-Grills on the shutdown cycle. And take a look at this pork butt. Look how soft it is to the touch. This thing's going to be really tender. I'll just get it covered with foil. I'll leave it right on top of the counter and let this rest for about an hour. And we are an hour later, and now let's take a look at our results. Now don't forget, after this taste test, I'm going to show you a little bit of the after cook maintenance. So don't go away. The bone comes out easy and it is nice and clean. Pork butt, it's pulling apart extremely easy, very tender, moist. And in this shot, you can see the smoke ring on some of those bark pieces. Take a look at this. This is the reason why I do a no wrap pork butt. You don't get this kind of bark with wrapping your pork butt. And now we'll just take a little taste. And heck yeah, man, that was a good pork butt. Now let's take a look at some after cook maintenance. So if you take a look, here's how many pellets we have. I'd say that's good for another 2 or 3 hours of cooking. I'm going to remove as many pellets as I can, and the rest you'll have to kind of help out a little bit. Now the pellets that were left in the auger, I decided to go ahead and just burn those off because I couldn't get to them. This is what the inside of the pellet grill looks after a single cook. You can see that there's a lot of pellet dust on the bottom of the grill. All I did was vacuum that up, and I also used my whisk broom just a little bit to help me get as much of that pellet dust out as I could. I then cleaned off my grates and put everything back together. And I like to take care of my stuff, so I put the cover on it. Now overall, I am extremely impressed with the Z-Grills. There's a lot of convenience in a pellet grill. I never could have left for 5.5 hours of golfing if I wanted to smoke a pork butt, because you'd have to be there to manage the fire. There really is a place for a pellet grill in your backyard, especially if you don't want to spend a lot of time taking care of a fire. The pork butt was juicy and flavorful. If you're interested in your own Z-Grills pellet grill, check out my link and discount code in the description. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead. Take a little time to do that now. Thank you for watching a View to a Grill. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, y'all.